Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's continue our tutorial. Sorry for not posting enough videos, but I'm definitely gonna change that. And the reason I've been a little bit busy is because I have this software that I'm working on. This is something I had already finished and is actually online, and you can use it. I even have tutorials on this tool over here. But after I received some of your comments and the features you wanted to add in here, I decided to rewrite this software because I realized that the features you guys wanted, some of them were impossible in the way I had coded it the first time. So I'm redoing the base code of this software to allow for a better workflow. So for those that do not know, this is a HTML creator that I whipped up here. The advantage of this is you create HTML here using this tool. Now the biggest problem was that you couldn't rename classes. So the way I'd set it up, you couldn't actually put your own classes here, but I fixed that problem now, and you can actually create new classes here and rename classes that already exist to suit your needs. That way it's a more professional tool. You can actually create professional looking templates, HTML templates with this, because it's as easy as clicking stuff to create. For example, changing images over here like that. It's as simple as that. You can add properties here, change colors, for example, like something like that, you see. So it's a more of instead of typing the CSS yourself, you're just clicking and dragging stuff around, which makes things much easier. Or you just type in what you need to type in there, like so, directly, instead of dealing with HTML. So it's just going to be a quick way for us to create templates and UIs without having to type any HTML and CSS. So I'll be done with this very soon. Of course, it's going to be available for free as always, because everything on my channel is free. And thank you. I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone that supports me on Patreon, because being paid for doing something for free, that always feels great. So thank you guys for those that have continued supporting me on Patreon. I know I don't offer anything special when you're on Patreon, but that's just an attempt on my end to make everything free, because when I was learning programming, everything costed money and you couldn't find a teacher and stuff like that. That was a long time ago, but now I'm trying to make programming as approachable as possible, so that even if you have no money at all, you can still access all this good stuff. So thank you to the guys that support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. I'll leave a link in the description to a PayPal in case you want to make a one-time donation, if that's your thing. If you can't afford it, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, so one day the reason I'm bringing this up is because one day I want to connect the two. I want us to connect this UI editor to this plugin framework that we are creating here. That way you can design a UI here and export it as a plugin, for example. So hopefully we can get to that part. All right, guys, without talking too much, let's begin and continue what we were doing. So we were fixing the pages plugin here. So we can create a page here, and if I click on the page name, this is what I see. Not the best design in the world, excuse me, but the add pages works as intended. The edit works as intended, I hope. And the delete does not work as intended, and also the view. So let's deal with the delete and the view at this moment. All right. So let's start with the delete page here. So I'm going to click on delete like that. And these are the errors we see. So of course, it's talking about these columns that they are not part of this table, like first name, last name, gender, and email. So let's put things that are really part of this. So when deleting, it's important, I guess, to know the slug, because this is the unique identifier of this page, and also maybe the date it was created. That way, I think having these two pieces of information plus the featured image, I think you can identify that you're trying to delete a particular page. So I think that should be enough. So let me click on this delete over here. And of course, let's go to our code here. Let me just close all files here. Now, of course, I'm going into the plugins folder here. So let me not confuse you guys here. So plugins folder, and we go to basic pages folder here. And what I'm looking at is in the view folders, the views folder, and we have front end and admin. So we're not dealing with the front end for now. We want to go to the delete.php. So this is the view file here. First of all, right at the top here, we want to put the right permission. It's delete page, not user. And the reason we know that is because if I go to my plugin .php of the basic pages plugin, yes, there's a point where we put permissions here, and this is where the list of permissions are. So delete page is one of those. So instead of first name here, let's change that to slug, and of course let's change that to slug as well. You can change these as well, but not really necessary for now. And then the date created as well, so we'll put that in there as well, like so. Now we don't need the rest of these. If you want to add more information to see when you're deleting, that's up to you. You can do that, but we don't need that. So let me go back to the same page, and if I now refresh, this is what we see. So preferably you'd have an image here, I guess, and instead of this date here that isn't very human readable, instead of the escape, let's use the get date function that we normally use over here. All right. Okay, so that's a much more readable date over here. Let's see if we add an image, what will happen. So if I click on edit and click, let's see if we can add some kind of image. So I have some images here on my PC. Let me try maybe buildings or something. Properties. Let's see here. Now, I was hoping that I would see thumbnails of these things, but apparently not. So anyway, I want to save. We're going to deal with categories later. Record edited successfully, hopefully, and there's an image here. So if I click delete, I get to see that image over there, which is awesomeness. Okay, cool. But what happens when we click delete? So let's put a simple page. I don't want to delete this about us, so let's create some other page that we can easily delete. Let's put a slug. Now if we don't put a slug, it should create one by itself. So let's put another description here, some keywords, and of course some content, and that should be it. So let's click save, and this record was added successfully. So we have this other page over here. If I click, I see that it actually works. Okay, cool. But let's try and delete it. Now we didn't deal with the delete controller, so let's go over here in the controllers folder, click there, delete controller. Let's make sure everything is good here. Let's change that to delete page. And what else do we need? Now there's this this variable here which I suspect does not exist. So if we go to the plugin.php, since that's where everything comes from, really, if we go to the controller section here, I can see that the variable we created for our model is page. So I'm going to copy that. Let's go back to the controller and let me select every instance of that, and once I select an area, I press Ctrl D to select the rest and then Ctrl V to paste. Very cool. I think everything is good in here. Yep, I think everything is good. So let's try a delete and see if it actually works. Now if I click back, it hasn't deleted. That's good. And if I click delete, it has deleted. So that part is done. Now we go to the view part, right? Because those are the two things that didn't work. So here it's complaining that it couldn't open this stream over here. So that's a warning, and there's a fatal error here. There's a required file that's missing, a view.php for this particular part. Okie dokie, no problem. But if I go to my admin section, I don't see a view file here. So since we copied this whole plugin from the users manager, it would be wise to go in there and just copy the view.php as well from there. So I'm going to copy everything in here. I will go now to my basic pages views folder, admin, right click, new file, and paste. I want to save this one as the view.php. Boom. Okay, there we go. So we have this permission here, view user details. Of course, this is for the users manager, so we have to change this. Now, let me put one here. View pages is one of those, but we should be able, yeah, maybe not. Let's just put view pages. I wanted to do something here with unpublished, but I think this is good enough. So view pages is a legit permission. So we're viewing the record, an image, but over here, now really what I want here is to change things. So I'm going to copy the front-end version. So there's a front-end file here, view.php, in the basic pages folder. So I'm going to copy just this middle part here and paste it here. So I'll remove everything up to where the buttons start, the back button, and put everything over here like so. Well, this isn't cool. Let me refresh, and there we go. Very nice. So we're looking at our page over here. But this is not good. Let's make a few changes. So, for example, I want this whole thing to go to the edge. We don't need the shadows here at all. So let me remove all of that. I want to really see how the page looks like in full view. So I'll remove this that limits the container. I'll remove the padding. The MX Auto is unnecessary if it goes all the way, and the shadow as well. So just row is enough there. Cool. So let's see what we get with that. What does that give us? Okay, cool. We got rid of that in here. But what about the outer version here? So that we can attribute to this. So same thing here. All of this, we don't need any of these classes. Out. I'm not sure if we need that G3 there. The gutter. Okay, very, very cool. Now, I don't like the way the about us starts halfway, like a character away. I think that's padding on the h3 tag. So we have an h3 tag over here. So what I would do is just add a class and put padding 0, since in Bootstrap that just means remove all padding from there. And let me refresh, and that actually did the trick. Pretty cool. I want this image to go all the way left and right. So what I'll do is, let me tighten these a little bit. Yeah, let's go tighter here. what I will do is on the image, let me remove the thumbnail class at all. Let me remove the maximum width because we want it to go all the way. And what else? Let's put 250 on the max height here, or maybe 300. I'm not sure. Whatever will look good. Let's save that and let's see what's gonna happen. Refresh, and there it is. So at least this looks more like a web page now. We're getting somewhere, right? So of course, go ahead and design things as you would like over here. Also, I like when the title is at the top here. So what I would do is, let me remove these. So the image is now between the top title and the content. And maybe let me put an HR tag over here. After the image, actually. I'll put it within the label, like that. Alrighty then, let's do a refresh and see what happens. Okay, pretty cool. Also, let me put one button here, unpublish or publish, because oh, should I put it here? Nah, maybe we can do that in the editing, where you click edit and then you can say whether you want to publish the we have a column in the pages thingy. The column is disabled here. It starts out at 0, so we can use that to determine whether a page is published or not. So we're gonna do that as we go along. So I like this view much better than this view I have when I click on the actual page like this. So let's oops, sorry, wrong code. That's for my other project, which is the this one I was showing you. So of course, I don't know if I mentioned, but I created this using PHP and JavaScript. So it's just vanilla PHP and JavaScript, no plugins involved, maybe one or two. There's a plugin here for the color picker here, because I didn't want to start coding this from scratch. I'm not that good. Okay, so what was I trying to do here? Yes, I was trying to change things, the look of this thing here. So what I'll do is just grab all of this here, copy, and let's go to the front end view where we copy this info, and I just want to replace. Now I'm not replacing here because I want these styles over here. I still need those at the top. So let me paste that, then I can delete this. Okay, so let's save that and let's go back and look at what we've got, and there we go. So this is a much better looking page. This is what viewers will actually see, your users and stuff. Now if you notice, still as much as we've added this image and it looks much better, there will be times when a web page you don't want the what is this, the featured image to show here, and we will put a feature where you can tick whether to show this featured image or not on the page. Now the rest of the page will need to be designed in HTML, and at this point we're just typing in some text like this, which may not be what you want. You may want to put images within this. You may want to maybe make some titles bold, increase some font sizes, or even change the font itself, etc, etc. Like real HTML design, so your pages look unique, even though you're using the same page designer. So in order to do that, we will need to add what is known as a WYSIWYG editor. It's not really or is it a WYSIWYG? Anyway, a rich text editor here, some sort of. So we'll replace this text area over here with something that has more features. So there are some on the market already. I think if you type WYSIWYG, something like that, what you see is what you get. So like that, actually. WYSIWYG editor. You get some options here. Now, what most people use is tinymce, I think, but you know, you can use, I use SummerNote or tinymce, so any of these two will do just fine. Now, if you're going to be if you're not going to be using Ajax to post your content, I don't think tinymce is good. Also, you need to register this one, so I don't really like that, because you have to enter your what is this, your URL, your website URL or something. Yeah, it's just a little complicated, but I think it's got better features if you want some good features, so maybe check this out. But I think we're going to go with SummerNote here because I have used this quite a bit and I think I have a better understanding of how this one, but they pretty much work the same, but I think I've dealt with SummerNote quite a bit to be more comfortable with this. So I think we're going to use this guy so that we have a page designer. That way we can just yeah, this is how it looks like. This is what I'm talking about. So that if you type some text over here, like this is some text and some more, you can select a point and add bold like that, or you can increase like the font size or change the font type. I thought there was like font sizes here, or its header. Yeah, look at that. That's much better. And if you want also, you can add a photo over here. That way you can design the page as much as however you want. So we could just copy this and put it as an editor and then save the data, but that's not how, unfortunately, that's not how things should work, because if people are putting images in here, then we need to process those images. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that, put images in here, process them, etc, etc. That way your web pages look well organized and designed. Alrighty guys, so this is the end to this part here. At least the view and the delete and edit all work now. Now we need to have categories here, and we need that WYSIWYG editor. Now, as soon as we have those two, then we can just rename this plugin into posts, because pages and posts are very similar. So we're going to change just a few things, and then we'll have a posts page. That way, instead, if you don't want to design every single page, you can just put dynamic posts there on those pages. Alrighty guys, so hopefully you learned something new every time in one of these tutorials, and I'll see you in the next one.